welcome to the History Lord. Bit of deja vu here. If you've been watching our channel from the start, you'll know that one of our first videos we actually made here, and it was all about the knowledge, the taxi drivers having to learn the knowledge of London to get their licence. Well, we're back again to tell you about why this is the dead centre of London. Not because of this plaque or the statue that's behind James. It's because what used to be here, and that was one of the Eleanor crosses. What were they? Let's go and find out. Welcome to London. Charing was a lost hamlet, and it derives from an Old English word that means bend in river. In this case, literally the bend in the River Thames that was here. It led on to Strand, and Strand was an Old English word for riverbank. The suffix cross refers to the Eleanor Cross that was built between 1291 and 1294, and it was under the order of King Edward I as a memorial to his wife Eleanor of Castile. She died on the 28th of November in 1290 at Harbury, which is up in Nottinghamshire. Edward was deeply devoted to his wife and was deeply affected by her death. And as a display of his grief, he erected 12 so-called Eleanor crosses, one at each place where her funeral cortege stopped for each of the nights of her procession down to London. Her body was eventually buried in Westminster Abbey at the feet of Henry III, her father-in-law, and she was buried on December the 17th, 1290. Her heart, however, was buried in the church of the London Dominicans Priory at Blackfriars. There is now a debunked theory of the etymology of Charing Cross, that it came from the French that meant dear queen or chère reine, but the name Charing predates the death of Eleanor by at least 100 years. The original Eleanor Cross was the work of the medieval sculptor Alexander of Abingdon. The original Charing Cross was destroyed in 1647 by the parliamentarians. Some say it was Cromwell himself who ordered the destruction, but we're not sure about that. We just know it was destroyed in 1647. The statue of Charles I, as we see it now, was placed here in 1675 by his son, Charles II. And as I've always said, this marks the dead centre of London. All mileage is taken from this one particular point. Why was the mileage taken from here? Well, this is exactly halfway between the royal capital, Westminster, and the financial capital, the City of London. And this is the halfway point between the two. Simple as that. This Victorian cross, this 70-foot high stone sculpture in front of Charing Cross railway station, was erected in 1865. And it's the reimagining of the medieval cross on a much larger scale. It's more ornate and certainly not in the original site. It was designed by the architect E.M. Barry, and it was carved by a man called Thomas Earp of Lambeth, and it's made out of Portland stone, Mansfield stone and Aberdeen granite. It stands 203 metres to the northeast of the original cross, and it's now the focal point on the station forecourt, and it faces the Strand. So the revived cross has now given its name not only to a railway station and the tube station underneath, it's also a hotel, and there's a theatre and an old musical that used to be here as well. Thanks very much for watching. We do hope you enjoy these videos. If you do, please subscribe. And if you want to know when videos are uploaded, there is a notification bell just down below. If you want to know what we do outside of these videos, please go to historylord.co.uk, see about a walking tour of London, or have a look in the description below and see about James's YouTube channel, which is called Last Line Films. And he also does a very good podcast too. Thanks for watching. Do you think some lunch is in order? There we are. Thank you very much. See you soon. Take care.